Alright, time check. It's May 30th, 2025, about 7:30 a.m. Nothing really crazy new to report exactly. I think I'm actually, health check standpoint, I think I'm actually licking this thing finally. Um, Not coughing nearly as much, and I'm hoping that the coughing bit is pretty much done, because I'm starting to get kind of a weird sharp pain here when I cough, which makes me concerned about ribs. Because I've been coughing pretty hard, and I'm like, oh man, please don't tell me that I cracked or bruised a rib or some craziness. But not. I'm taking all my drugs. Um, I'm not nearly coughing as much, which is good. That's a good problem to have, right? Um, Acorns running around in here. Making progress in the kitchen, because Tiny's pretty much working on my dad's office. They were here yesterday briefly. I say briefly. Pix fell asleep on the couch. We're trying to do so much, and we're just exhausted. It's been, a 2-year climb uphill. Of course, now I start coughing. Tiny's mostly been working in my dad's VW room office, whatnot, trying to. I think I put some video on here earlier about, you could kind of open the door, and that's as far as you could go. You could see making good progress there. And Pix has been working on the master bedroom in my mom's office. And I'm pretty much working on the dining room, living room, kitchen, and starting to poke at the garage. Because we got to try and get it ready for spraying. And also just make it functional-ish. Not bored. On a personal side happy note, I got to surprise Pix a little bit yesterday. I haven't seen her. We just texted back and forth after the event. But okay, so my girl, she was at least partially raised by her grandmother, who was a doll collector, Barbie, anything doll, did flea markets, trade shows, all that kind of stuff in the 70s, 80s. If you're a Gen Xer, you understand this one. If not, you may need to Google it. It's a cultural thing. So my wife found out about, I don't know, a couple years ago, which was like 5 years later, that a doll series, bear in mind we're like sci-fi horror junkies, and even though my wife was raised in like the Barbie collecting world, she's never really been a Barbie fan per se. So my girl discovered Monster High dolls a little while back, and it's become kind of a obsession. Not well, yeah, no, it has actually. It's an obsession of hers a little bit, and so here's where it is. Oh, and from a coffee standpoint, also something I'd mentioned a while back, they figured out the pricing at Walmart, and I'm wondering if somebody got in trouble. So for a while there, I was getting these guys. It's a 28 ounce bag Starbucks. They had like 3 or 4 different flavors, and they were like 2 for $14. They have since corrected this price, and they probably will insist that they didn't correct it. They just, the special is no longer going on. But they were doing 2 for $14, like $7 a bag basically for a 28 ounce bag of Starbucks coffee. I grabbed a few. If you look now, it's 40, which again makes me think that somebody probably got in trouble for it. But yeah, I grabbed a couple of those. So we're doing some Starbucks breakfast blend this morning. And hey, it is morning. How about that? A little while ago I made eggs and sausage, and it was the morning. Yeah. Make a conformist out of me yet? No, not really. Here's the thing. With everything we've been through, we've got, we're not like rolling in money or anything like that. And what finances are my parents' finances. I can't manipulate that except to take care of their business. But we're okay, because of what we did over the past 2 years. We're okay. So if you know my girl, if you don't, that's fine. If you do, cool. She's pretty cool. Big Hocus Pocus fan. Big Hocus Pocus fan. Huge with a Y. And I guess last year before, they came out with a Hocus Pocus, the Sanderson sisters Monster High dolls. And I knew about it about a month ago, and my girl found out about it like a week or two ago and was like, because I'm willing to bet when it's a 3-set, box set, window in the front. I'm willing to bet when it came out it was probably like $100 set. You can find them online now for $200. Because what's happening is, it's not so much the collectors and the individuals that are buying them up, it's resale groups that are buying them up and then reselling them for double. Which happens in every collectible industry, really. And it's like, Ticketmaster all over again. Unless the actual manufacturer or whatnot is really keeping a tight hold of how they market it, it's going to happen. So she was like, I'm not going to be able to get that. Because she still has that mentality of, we're not allowed to have nice things, So I ordered one. Here's the kicker, I ordered 2, but I'll get to that in a second. So I ordered one. She texted me when she got home last night, and she's like, okay, I got some of the, I had ordered some bedding stuff for her too. She's like, I got the bedding and there's another package, I'll bring it with me tomorrow. And I was like, why don't you go ahead and open it now? And she opened it, and I got kind of the equivalent of like squee texting. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but pretty much. And she said, it'll look great next to my Wednesday and my Enid. We managed to get 2 of each of those. So she's got a couple of them, a set on the shelf. And then she's got one loose. I don't even know if she's opened it yet, but she's like, I can play with this. Because we're not really in collecting mode, but there are some things that we would, So she's like, this will look great next to Wednesday Needed. And I would agree, it will. It'll look great. But she doesn't know there's another one on the way. Because we're gonna live. We're done with survival mode. I refuse to go back to that. And we're gonna live. We've earned the right to do that. So that should be there in a couple days. Hopefully when she gets that, the same thing might transpire. And if you know her, shut your yap, don't say anything. Because I'm hoping she opens it and then has that moment of realization of, I can open one. I can open one. Here's the thing, if you're buying for a collector who also likes to play, if it's something they really want, getting 1 is great. Getting 2 is sublime. Because you're giving them permission to open one. But I know some collectors that would keep both sealed. But pardon. In this house, if you get 2, well, you're allowed to open one. That's God's way of saying it's all right. But yeah, we're just done with the surviving aspect of it. Done. And I refuse to go back. House-wise, making progress. I've got 3 doors, 3 cabinet doors in the kitchen. I'm going to be using that for pots and pans, mixing bowls, and bakeware. And I got the 3rd one emptied. I just need to clean the shelf off itself because it's kind of got some like schmutz on it and whatnot. Clean it off, and then I can restock it, so to speak, and figure out what I've got. From a cooking standpoint, the problem I'm running into right now is I've got 3 or 4 really good stainless steel skillets, but they're small. You know, I can do like 3 eggs and some sausage with it. I don't have anything where I can like throw down, 20 hot dogs at a time or something like that. And if we're all eating, it's like a pack of angry wolves. So it kind of limits what I can do at a time. So I gotta go through the stuff that I packed back in 2023 and see if maybe I packed a big skillet and don't remember doing that because I'm kind of in that mindset of why would I have done that? But maybe I did. I don't know. But I gotta prep it all anyway and go through and figure out what we're keeping, what we're not. I got the doors to work with, and I got space to work with. Now it's a matter of what do I want behind those doors and what just needs to use the front door. Because that kind of stuff will sell at a garage sale, and I will sell it at a garage sale. Because everything's, even if it's used, it's in good shape. But I don't need, we talked about this the other day. Okay, I don't need 20 lasagna pans. I don't. 3, 4, and I mentioned this yesterday talking with Tiny because Tiny likes to cook, and that was kind of I could see maybe having 3 or 4, but it's like, yeah, we've probably got 20, and yeah, we don't need 20 exactly. My wife was just kind of like, this is all you two. She wants nothing to do with that. Hates cooking. But that's okay. You know what I mean? I hate working on cars. And part of that is growing up almost not really being forced to, because I wasn't really forced to, but there was that pressure to do it. And it made it to where I really didn't want to. If that makes sense. And she's more than happy to, we need to change the oil filter? Okay. Like, you have fun, I'm going to make you a sandwich. We're such a backwards couple. And it's okay. Is the thing. It's okay. It's quite alright. I won't pay $8 for a Starbucks coffee in the wild, but they do have good brew. I don't think it's $8 good, but I don't think anybody has $8 good. Yeah. So, looking forward to her getting that second one. I'm not saying jack. Just monitoring the tracking and waiting for the, hey, do you want me to bring this package? No, go ahead and open it. Yep. Looking forward to that. There's a couple other ones out there that she really wants to, that I'm trying to track down, that she's trying to track down. I know she's trying to get a hold of the Hisfits. I guess they did like a rock band, and it's like twin cat monsters. And then there's a third one. It looks fun. I've seen the dolls and whatnot on the screens, and yeah, okay, sure. This is knowing my girl. This is exactly what my girl would have gotten as dolls when she was a kid, if they were there. It is absolutely an item that she would have played with as a kid if they were available to play with. Yep. Yep. And it's cool. It's cool. And I guess they did Ever After also, which is like a fantasy one. And she's got some interest in that, but the Monster High has just like. And she wants a first edition Ghoulia. Because I guess Ghoulia is a zombie character that has undergone some transitions within the lore and whatnot, but apparently she doesn't really care for the more recent renditions of Ghoulia. She likes the original Ghoulia that they put out. So that's on my list of, let me see what I can find. But I'm good at finding things. It's one of my cosmic gifts. So, first edition Ghoulia, or Gen 1. Alright. Let me see what I can come up with. So yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to be making a purchase here in the near future too. I'll show you when it gets here. And then that's going to be the last of our probably big spending for a bit, just to make sure we can get things in motion before, if we were to just do nothing, money-wise, beginning of next year, and this isn't me bragging, by the way, because if you know me, if you know what the past 2 years, 3 years have been like, man, we have cut to the bone to make sure we were going to be okay. There's been a certain amount of betrayal and pain to where we've earned this break. So please don't judge. I'm not into it. But if we did nothing, number projection wise, February, March of next year, I would be looking at the calendar and going, that's when we start getting into trouble. You know what I mean? That's when we start, possibly auctioning off children and things, Everybody's over 18 now. That complicates that. I'll get back to it. But yeah, we're okay. We're okay. And I've earmarked money here and there to be able to do these kinds of things, and we're okay. But yeah, if I'm going to try and start doing garage sales, I've got June 21st kind of in pencil on my calendar as this is when I would like to be able to launch. So that's the goal. But if we did nothing, we could still exist until probably February is when I'd start, rolling quarters and going, okay, we got to do something. But for the moment, we're okay. And we're going to live. I've got to call the medical equipment company today because there's all kinds of oxygen type gear around the house that was Mom's on rental. Because there are a lot of services that rent them by the month and whatnot. And I'm willing to bet we're being billed for it. And I don't know. I need a list from them of what of yours do we have? Because I don't know what is actually my parents and what is actually theirs. There's some stuff that's labeled that's pretty obvious, but there's some stuff that isn't, and I don't know if it's a rental or if it's something that my parents had bought. I don't know. And I can't ask her, and he might not be able to even give me a straight answer. So now I gotta call Billy at the VA and I'll probably get his voicemail because I usually do, but he usually calls back too. Just put a bug in his ear and say, hey, my dad's looking at his escape options. How are things? So, yeah, health check wise, I can draw a deep breath. I do have a weird kind of throbby, sharp pain over here when I cough. My stomach is tight from all the coughing and all that. But I am concerned that, oh shit, did I crack a rib? I have had that happen before, but it wasn't from coughing. Um, so I do have a clue as to what the feeling is, and it feels similar. So, concerns. There's not a lot they can do, but just so that I know, and I'll know as the coughing subsides if it continues, making a liar out of me. But no, I can, how you can feel when you're not really having a whole lot of obstruction. I've just got like a mild tickle going on. And I've coughed up a little bit. This is the gross part. I've coughed up a little bit of phlegm over the past like 12, but not like I was. Before it was like, Weasley after the slug spell went sideways. It's gross but true. Better out than in. So that's where I am there. Found a few more BB and pellet guns. Tiny did. A couple of rifles, a couple of pistols tucked in his office or under debris in his office. I'm not sure how to even phrase that, because I don't know that anything is tucked in there as so much as like under the rubble. Is it really tucked? More buried? I don't know. So we're starting to get quite the BB and pellet gun collection, but there should still be at least 10 or 20 real life bang bangs floating around. I don't know where they are. It's concerning, and I don't know if it's a Chuck issue or if it's a my dad issue. That's the thing. I don't know where to point the finger, or even if I need to, because maybe my dad just hid them somewhere. I don't know. And the hunt goes on. Anyway, I'm going to break it up there. Yeah, just checking in. We're getting there. I hope you are too. Make it a great day.